everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Lori. So you've heard of introverts, like these are people who don't want to be around people, they don't want to be bothered with people. And then you've heard of extroverts. Extroverts are totally opposite. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm all about people. I love people. I don't even know if they really love people. I just think that they get like energy off of that. But what if you're both? What if you're a mixture of two, like me? So come on, I'll tell you what that looks like. All right, so let's talk a little bit about introverted extroverts. Okay, so there is such a thing. And it's funny because I didn't really know this because typically you've always heard of just being an introvert or just being an extrovert. But what if you like don't resonate with either one of those or you resonate a little bit with both? So I started doing a little bit of research in it and I realized that I am an introverted extrovert or maybe an extroverted introvert. I think they're kind of the same thing. It's just which do you resonate more with? And I would love to know in your comments after the video. Take some time if you don't mind, like just putting some comments in there and let me know if you are more of an introvert or more of an extrovert, even if you have both, okay? So being an introverted extrovert, we will flip switch on you in a heartbeat. We could be in the middle of a party. Everybody would be like, oh my gosh, it's so much fun. And we're like, yeah, it is. I'm ready to go home. And people are like, what do you mean you're ready to go home? I'm ready. And they're like, well, what happened? You're like, nothing. I'm just ready to go. They're like, what do you mean nothing happened? Nothing happened. I'm just ready to go, right? So I think that a lot of people don't really understand introverted extroverts because we are those people who can flip a switch just like that. And why does it happen? I don't really know. I think that it is something that kind of, you have your limitations. And a lot of times when you get really clear with being an introverted extrovert, you're going to start seeing this happen. You're going to feel it. You're going to feel when you're like, it's not like other normal, just introverted or just extroverted people where they're like, oh, I'm tired. I'm going to get ready to wrap up in about an hour. No, we literally could be in the middle of a whole party and be like, this is so I'm ready to head out. And there's no real rhyme or reason to it. It's just part of being an introverted extrovert. It's like your body goes, it's time to go. So keep that in mind because a lot of people will have a really hard time dealing with you. So if that's you, you might want to even share the video with somebody who could be like, see, look, this is not bad. It's not just me. Other people have this too. Also, we are a little bit of ADD. We might not be clinically diagnosed as ADD, but our brains will bounce frequently. That's because sometimes we're in extroverted mode, sometimes we're in introverted mode, doesn't really matter, but we will bounce all over the place. So we could be in the middle of a conversation and be like, squirrels are here. Let's look at the squirrels. Oh, it's shiny, happy things, right? So keep that in mind because that's also very normal, but it's also part of how an introverted, extroverted brain kind of kicks in and plays. As well as we like things, but we like them done on our terms. So that can make it seem like we're super duper duper controlling. I think to some point there's a little bit of truth to that. But if we're not good I'll give you an example. So my friend and neighbor, Deborah, she and her fiance, well, they have a boat and they go out on the boat and they do tie-ups and they have a good time. It's like she's very extroverted, so it's very good for them. She wouldn't even invite me because she knows the kind of person I am. I like to go when it's controlled. Like, okay, I'm going to be out there for like an hour to 2 hours. That's about all I need around a bunch of people, or not even a bunch of people, just out where I'm not really in control. And they can stay out all day long. They're like out there, they're peopling, and that just totally makes me freak out. Like mentally, I'm like, oh no, like I wouldn't be in control of where I am. I'm at the mercy of other people. And a lot of introverted extroverts are like that, by the way. We don't like to be out of control. When we become out of control, we don't like that. There's nothing wrong with you. It doesn't mean that you're a control freak. I mean, it can be perceived that way by others, not your problem. It can be perceived that way, but it's just who you are. So you don't have to. You should also be very comfortable in knowing who you are. Are you an introverted extrovert? Then be it, like embrace it. Other people aren't going to necessarily understand it, nor do they have to. But it's important for you to understand that there's nothing wrong with you. It's not like you're like, what's wrong with me? Like, why do I just automatically just flip a switch? It's okay. You're probably an introverted extrovert or an extroverted introvert. Technically, they're basically the same thing. You're just going to have more of a trait towards one than the other. Mine, I think, is more introversion, where I thought before it was more extroversion, but it's more introverted for sure. And I'm good with it. And not everybody's going to understand it. And you have to be okay with that because People who aren't introverted extroverts, or they just have their own personality types, they're not going to get it, how you could just like flip a switch left and right, but that's okay. They don't have to. It's not your job to have everybody else understand who you are. Watch what you consume. If you're consuming negativity, you're going to breed negativity. If you're consuming positivity, you're going to breed positivity. And remember, every day is not good, but there's good in every day. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell in the corner for notification. You get notified every time I post. See you next time.